What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you today? And this is my review for episode 22 of Gotham, the final episode of the first season. Now, I have loved this first season of Gotham. I really have. Even if DC's movies are not doing that good, of course, on my personal opinion, I love Man of Steel and the Nolan trilogy. I love those movies. As we're building up to the Justice League, though, when it comes to TV shows, DC, I think, is doing pretty good, because we have Arrow and we have Gotham. Of course, now Marvel has Daredevil and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's not the point. The point is, this is a good, faithful adaptation of the comics. It's a good adaptation of taking the story of basically Batman Year One and spreading it out, and it has made it an amazing, wonderful story arc, and it is amazing. So, this episode starts with actually Fish coming back to Gotham, and her and Selena Kyle meet for the first time, where she says a new day is coming, in saying that I'm going to rule Gotham. The whole entire point of this episode, if you'll remember from the last episode, there is a gun war going on between Maroni and Falcone, and the episode actually keeps going with Falcone going to some kind of store where he was buying food or a pet, but someone tried to take him out with a rocket launcher. He's injured. We're then brought to Bruce, who is going to check in on Barbara, and Barbara is happy to see him, and she thanks him for saving his life. And so with that, I wrote in my notes that Gordon, I think I might have said Bruce, Gordon and Barbara, also with Dr. Lee, are in the same room together. I wrote awkward, because you have ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend in the same room with new girlfriend. Awkward! But Lee's like, look, no one is okay after what you've been through. You need to go through some therapy. And even though she says, I'm fine, she says, fine, I'll do it, but only if you are the counselor. And she's like, I don't have that much training. And she's like, I'll only do it if you agree. And so, with that all setting up, we come to Falcone, who's waking up actually in a bed. Falcone is in a bed, and he's strapped to it. Now, before this, the very first scene that we see of Gordon, we see that the jail is full of people from both Falcone and Maroni. But we come to find out from Detective Bullock that people from Falcone's group are going to Maroni. They're thinking he can run things, and Jim's like, he's too wild. He'll make this city even worse than it is. So that's when he decides that he actually needs Falcone to run Gotham. Even though he's a criminal and things are so horrible in Gotham, it's better than having things ran by Maroni. So with that, we come to the scene I talked about earlier, with Maroni strapped to a bed, and Penguin comes in with some flowers. And he's like, you've been a great friend, but I'm the one who's behind all this. And he's like, why? He asks Penguin why, and Penguin basically says he's tired of being everyone's pushing boy. He wants power. He wants to be in control. He wants fear. He wants respect, even though he already has fear and respect, but he wants it all. Just like Fish wants it all, they want the power. So with this, actually Gordon comes in and arrests Penguin and Butch. But because Gordon owes Penguin a favor, when Commissioner Loeb sends his men to deal with Falcone, when Maroni's men comes in to take out Falcone, they thought Jim was with them because Penguin is with them. But that's not the case, and Commissioner Loeb has the people turn on Jim. And Jim says before Falcone does this, he's like, I swear, I'll do whatever I can. I'm going to do whatever it takes to put you behind bars or worse. Because he knows Falcone is nothing but corrupt and is one of the main problems. Other than Falcone, Loeb is one of the main problems. And he wants all the corruption in Gotham gone. And in the GCPD, he wants it all gone. So that's what makes Loeb, and also Loeb has never liked Gordon anyway. So with this, we get actually a pretty good gunfight between Jim, using one gun, but his jams up, and even though he doesn't have a gun, he's still a good fighter. So like you see him like taking down 2 of them, and then he pulls out 2 other guns that he has, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good gunfight. And of course, Jim's mission, and Harvey joins him, even though Harvey said, no, I'm not doing it, but he did it, is to get Falcone to a safe house to where it'll only take him 2 days to get in the power. And Jim even says, I'm not doing this because I like you, I'm doing this because the city needs you to keep it in check. Even though things were in chaos, it was a controlled chaos. And he thinks that with Maroni running things, it won't get any better. So that's the whole thing. When they're going into hiding, they are actually found by... Yeah, I think that's... They run into Fish's group, and we see Fish looks a lot different. Part of her head's been shaved. She's got diamonds on her face. Selena has joined with them, and I was like, crap. I kind of figured they were going to do something with that. They did. Selena is enjoying this, and actually when all 4 men are captured, Harvey, Falcone, Jim, and Penguin, yeah, because Penguin was captured too, she was going around and basically, she was going around and saying how people were going to die. Falcone was going to get slow and painful death. Jim was going to get a simple death. Penguin was probably, actually she never said what was going to happen with him. She was going to kill him, but what was funny is when she comes across Bullock, she's like, you and me, we're cool. And I could not stop laughing because Harvey and Fish have always had this kind of relationship where, yes, he asks her for favors, and yes, some of them are not easy, but they have a respect for one another, and it truly shows. They do have a friendship. She's not going to kill her friend. But we do get an emotional tie with Fish because Butch sees Fish. Now, if you all remember, Zaz programmed Butch to make it to where he only listens to Penguin. But when he sees Fish, it starts breaking down his, because he doesn't want to kill her. He still loves her. And it makes me think of, in RoboCop, it makes me think of RoboCop, and here's why. Because they designed him to not arrest any of the people who made him, even if they were doing wrong. So when he has a gun pointed at him, he's like, dead or alive, you're coming with me. It's tough for him because he's fighting against this programming. But he has he's more man than machine. He has the will, and that's the thing. Butch, he doesn't have the will, but he has the heart. He cares about Fish, and he doesn't want to kill her. And there is a part where Fish and Penguin are fighting. Butch comes along, he's listening to both commands, and he doesn't know which to do. So he shoots Fish, but then he shoots Penguin. And when he shoots her, he's like, Fish, I'm so sorry. You know I would never do anything to hurt you. I love you. And she's like, I love you too. It's okay. I will be fine. And this was a really good scene between the two. I honestly thought that he was just her lackey, but no, he's her lackey, but there's a love and respect. And I really admired that. There is a lot of shooting, there is a lot of fighting, and it is awesome. Now, in this episode, I know I haven't talked about Bruce much. Well, Bruce, because of what Lucius Fox told him about his father, he's going around the mansion, he's going around in the study room, where he is most of the time, and he's trying to figure out the secrets of his father. While Alfred is saying, Master Bruce, if there was any evidence of anything being hidden, I would know about it. If there was any secrets, I would know. But Bruce is like, usually my instincts tell me that I'm right. And actually, we learn about his father's habits. Whenever his father would go in his office, the office would be locked. You would always hear classical music. And when that was going on, Bruce's mother would play with him until he was done doing what he was doing in the office. And so Bruce wants to know what kind of man his father really was because of what that guy at Wayne Enterprises said that his father was like. So he's really determined, but Alfred wants him to give it up. And I think Alfred knows something. I think he does. We do know that Alfred was practically a secret agent. But Alfred is basically wanting Bruce to drop this. Which, we all know Bruce, it's not going to happen. But back with the whole entire war, While they're trying to get Falcone to safety, Falcone decides he's going to give it up. After the first attempt on his life, he decides, he's like, you know what? I quit. I'm done. I'm going to go to a house that I own someplace far, far away, in a galaxy far, far away. I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my life, and I'm going to drop it. And Gordon's like, are you really going to drop it? He's like, yes. He doesn't want it anymore. And then when Fish proclaims that she's going to be the new queen of Gotham, Fish is like, congratulations, my dear. I quit. And so with this, when Maroni comes in, because she made a deal with Maroni, if she can bring him Falcone's head, she will be a partner with him. She'll be a partner with Maroni, and they'll split shares. However, when this comes up, Maroni starts mocking Fish, saying, I'm leader number 1, you're leader number 2. I'm leader number 1, and she says, I'm leader number 2. And like he even starts mocking her more, like Falcone's kind of like the person, like if he sees a girl, he's gonna say, hey babes, or toots, or something like that. And Fish didn't like that, so he starts mocking her a little bit. He's like, all right guys, don't call her babes. He says it a lot. And even though after she says, don't call me babes, he starts mocking her more. And he's like, don't call her toots or anything. Oh, come on, it means I like you. Don't do it, don't call her babes. Come on, don't call her babes. She pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head. I was like, well, that was new. So with this, now it's between Penguin and Fish, because Gordon and Falcone escape after the two gangs between Fish and Maroni start fighting. And Penguin gets down and brings in a gun. And this leaves between Fish and Penguin's final confrontation, or so we think. While this is going on, Jim, Bullock, and Falcone are able to get away. Now, with the scene that I talked about earlier with Butch and Fish, it's a very good scene. However, Penguin says, Fish, I'm going to kill you. She's like, it's all good. He pushes her over onto a ledge. After, of course, that they were both shot in the leg, she falls into water. And with this, Penguin gets on top and screams, I'm the king of Gotham, with lightning striking, insinuating that dark days are coming. Now, about Fish's character, there has been some rumor and some talk that she signed on for 1 year. And I don't know if she's going to sign another, but that might be the end of Fish. Fish isn't even a character in the comics, but she was a really good character. And so this might be the end of Fish. We don't know. It's like what would have happened. I honestly relate this to what would have happened if we got The Amazing Spider-Man 3. What would have happened if we got Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. It's something that might be answered, and it might not be. Even though those two things that I have just said have already been answered, we still didn't know until they said it's not going to happen. So we don't know. Now, one thing about this whole entire thing with Barbara, she wanted Lee to be the counselor, and she starts talking about what happened. She killed her parents, not Jason. She talks about, when she's talking with Lee at the apartment, Lee keeps saying, you're not talking about the subject. Well, she finally talks, and she says that she killed her parents, not Jason. She went up to them and told them how she felt about how they treated her. They basically would not let her have a childhood. They wouldn't let her be a child. They wanted her to be this preppy, stuck up zombie, pretty much. And I call them zombies because that's what they were doing to her. They were making her into someone that she wasn't, a zombie or a monster, but not. So when all is said and done, she starts talking about Jim, and if Jim has ever hit her or told her that she loves her or told him that he loves her or anything like that. And then Barbara starts trying to kill Lee, and I was wondering, is something going to happen? Is she going to kill Lee? And she does, because she's crazy. And while this is going on, she's trying to call Jim. Lee actually knocks Barbara out by smacking her head against the floor. And, so I don't know what they're going to do with Barbara, but there's some... I actually do like this story. Because it gives us a reason for Barbara to stop drinking. But after that, we do get a nice talk between Falcone and Gordon about how Falcone's like, this city doesn't need me anymore. It needs someone strong to take a hold of it. But it doesn't need a criminal. It needs a good man, a lawman. And earlier on, when Gordon and Falcone were tied up, he's like, it's a good thing they didn't find my knife, but it's in my shoe. That knife was given to Falcone by Gordon's father. And he basically passed the torch to Gordon. And now that Gordon has this, we know Gordon is going to do everything he can to make Gotham a better place, like he always said he was going to do. He was going to bring real justice back to Gotham. Now, with all this, I bet you are wondering, well, what happened with Bruce? Well, in two episodes ago, after we watched the episode, it showed that Bruce finds a cave. Now, he does, because he relates his father to a Roman who was a well-respected person in his time, and Lucius told Bruce that his father was like that. So he put it together, he finds a book. I think it was a book that this Roman was actually in, and he finds a remote. And once again, Alfred's trying to get Bruce to not press the button. He presses it, and a cave opens. You hear classical music, and there's one other thing. You hear bats. And then the episode ends. Now, one thing that I do like is, from what I know, in all of the adaptations of Batman I have ever seen, from Nolan's Batman to Joel Schumacher's Batman, yes, I mentioned Joel Schumacher, or even in The Dark Knight Returns, they show that the cave has always been on the property. Whether in The Dark Knight Returns and in Batman Begins, how he falls into the cave. Same thing with Joel Schumacher in Batman Forever, I think. Yeah, I think he did Batman Forever. Yeah, he did. With him falling into the cave has always been on the property. So that was really good to see that. Now, my one thing is, what would Bruce's dad be using the cave for? And I don't think that it's going to be... I don't think it has anything to do with Flashpoint Batman. Because in the Flashpoint universe, Thomas is Batman and not Bruce. Bruce is dead in Flashpoint. So I don't know if what they're going to do, but this is just something that I think that they could do, but they probably won't do. If either they might do something where Thomas was Batman before, or he was something along those lines, and he had the cave to pass on to Bruce, or he just used it to keep his secrets, and Bruce is going to use it for the Batcave when he becomes Batman. I don't know. I can't wait. It has been a very good first season. Guys, if you are a Batman fan, you will love this show. You will not be disappointed. I have never been disappointed with an episode. There has been hits and misses with a couple episodes, but they were still good. We had good plot twists. We had good characters. We had everything that made us care about this show. I strongly recommend you go and watch the show. It's going to be on Netflix next year. The next season will come out sometime, I think in August. I think that's when the next season will start. It's on FX.com. Just go, it's on Fox.com. Just type in Gotham episode whatever, Fox.com, and there's all the episodes. Guys, this has been a good first season. I cannot wait for the second season. Put in the comments below, what was your favorite episode from Gotham Season 1? Who was your favorite character? Who was your favorite villain that they showed? I really want to know. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Guys, have a good day and have an amazing summer. It is summertime, and I cannot wait to upload more videos. Guys, this has been another episode of Phenomenal Views. Have a good day.